The experiential learning that we provide in a study abroad program, especially in a consulting program like that, I think it's a trend, especially when we see the shift in education with AI. So how do the students learn? What kind of skills do we need to teach the students? So I think that study abroad consulting, cultural activities, they will help in what AI cannot deliver in the classroom. So that's an important point. I believe that the future of education relies on experiential learning. So yes, for example, in Argentina, communication is more indirect and the culture is more hierarchical. So many times I would tell the students, if the client is not responding, is not answering a question, maybe it's because the client doesn't want to answer or they don't have the information. So you'd feel the client going in circles or they would ignore the question. So that was a very interesting learning because they wouldn't say, no, I don't want to answer that. Or they wouldn't say, I don't have this information. So it's kind of like being more indirect and not answering. So they had to pay attention to that. Or hierarchy as well. So who is the boss, who makes the decision in that company? It's important that students are aware that hierarchy can be very different across cultures as well. So it's not just culturally, but when we talk about preparation, another aspect that was a big difference for our students in Argentina was how they dealt with inflation. Now inflation is much lower in Argentina, but a year and a half ago, it was 135, 140%. So the way they plan, the way their financial statements or financial planning works is very different than what our students are used here in a more stable economy. So for the assessment of students, first of all, is the client happy with the results? How was the consulting project? Does it have a significant impact? Is it applicable to the client? So that's one point. And then also we want to make sure in other aspects if the learning outcome was reached. So for example, in their reflection paper where they individually write about the experience, we can compare that with the learning outcomes. And there are also other ways of being assessed as well as their participation and engagement on the team or the deliverable itself, the presentation to the clients, and so on. So there are many different points of assessment throughout the process.